Hi, welcome to class. Today we're going to be focusing on a certain action in your shoulders that is called shoulder extension. So when your shoulders extend, it means your arms travel back like this. Imagine you were, say, preparing to throw a ball underarm, that action of sweeping your arms back behind you. So we'll be working through some postures that involve that action in your shoulders. We will try and mobilize the stuff that needs to be free to move to allow that to happen. It's going to involve, amongst other stuff, some stretching out kind of front side of shoulders and chest. We're going to be trying to feel the muscles that sit roughly more towards the back side that help bring your arms back behind you. And also because this is a flow class, just all the rest of you is going to get a move around as well. Stuff that you are going to want with you is I've got a yoga strap. If you've got one of those, great. If not, you could use like a tea towel or a pair of leggings, a pair of tights, a towel, a scarf, something that you can like hold between your hands and pull on and it won't break. And I've also got a yoga block with me. Again, you don't need to have one of those. You could have maybe a cushion or a book. Something like that would work really well. So let's start by a wall. So you could be at an actual wall, you could be at a door, standing at your fridge, if you're outdoors, hand on a tree, all of that would work. Stand sideways onto that surface and put your hand on it just a little bit higher than shoulder height. With your hand, gently press into the wall or whatever surface you're working with. Let your shoulder, that side shoulder, just relax away from your ear a little, and then start to turn your chest away from your hand. So what you're looking for is a stretch somewhere around, might be kind of inner upper arm, might be all the way down to your forearm, your hand, to be honest. For me, I get it kind of inner upper arm, a bit in my armpit, and then sort of down into my chest. So if at any point this starts to get uncomfortable, you could just turn a bit less. If your hand starts to tingle, you can just maybe bring it down, give it a shake, see if that fixes it. And then play around for me with how it feels, that stretch in your chest, with when you turn a little bit more, maybe when you bend your elbow slightly, when you have your arm straight. You could try looking away from that top hand or maybe looking down. Take a couple of deep breaths up into that side of your chest. And as you exhale, release, bring your hand down, give it a wiggle if it feels like it needs a wiggle. Okay, same thing on the other side. I'm going to put my hand on the wall this time. It's just a bit higher than my shoulder. It's just right in my shadow. And then I'm going to turn away from the wall. So some of you will find that you need to turn further than I do to get a stretch in your chest. And some of you will find that you don't need to turn as much. And that's okay. That's normal. It's just because we've got different shoulders, we've got different bodies. So little adjustments that you could make to see if you can maximize or enhance any feeling of stretch or opening you're getting in your chest. Elbow could be a bit bent or a bit straight. Your hand could maybe be a little bit higher or lower. You could turn your chest slightly more or less. And then also position of head. You might find that that makes a difference. I kind of like looking down and away from that top hand. You might find that works for you. You might find it doesn't. Take a breath in there. As you breathe out, release. Bring that hand down. Give your shoulder a wiggle. Okay. And then if you're using a mat, stepping towards the back of your mat, bend your knees a little bit, drop your chin to your chest, and slowly roll down towards your legs. And when you get as far as you're going to go, sway a little side to side. Then bend your knees as much as you need to get your hands on the floor and walk your hands out to a plank position. Just have a couple of breaths here. So in plank, you're gently pushing the floor away with your arms and gripping with your fingertips. Then as you exhale, drop your knees lower down to lie on your front. So if I was in this class, rather than leading it, I would lower all the way down and rest my forehead on my hands like this. Because I'm wearing a microphone, I'm going to stay propped up a little bit, but you might maybe want to lower all the way down, forehead on hands, or turn face to one side. Okay. Then feel your right leg. Draw your belly muscles in a little bit and maintaining that slight engagement around belly, hover your right leg off the floor. Now with that right leg, I want you to imagine you're trying to stretch it longer, like there's something just behind you out of reach of your tiptoes and you're trying to touch it. So right leg is hovering and you're trying to stretch it long. Then keep that feeling of leg growing longer as you slowly bring it back down onto the floor. So now that leg is going to stay on the floor, but I want you to keep trying to stretch it longer. Then plant your hands either side of your chest. So your elbows are pointing kind of up towards the ceiling. So we're prepping for cobra pose. Keep reaching back along the floor with that right leg. And then when I give you the cue to come up to cobra pose, instead of pushing your hands straight down and lifting your chest up, start with elbows pointing kind of up to the ceiling. Then with your elbows, start to pull down and back towards your outer hips. So feel how when you pull back down and back with your elbows, it's going to tend to shrug your shoulders down your back away from your ears. Keep doing that until it starts to lift your chest up. Keep reaching back with elbows, reaching back with right foot, and then just simply turn your face to look to the left. Imagine you're trying to get long from the top of your right foot all the way up the front of that leg, right side, and then kind of across your chest and off your nose. And then lower down and rest. A couple of breaths into your belly. Maybe wiggle hips a little side to side. Take a breath in where you are. As you breathe out, draw belly muscles in a bit, and then just hover your left leg. Keep your left leg hovering. Stretch it long, so reach with your toes. Keep that feeling of left leg long as you slowly, slowly bring it back down to the floor. So now both legs are on the floor, but just your left one is reaching long. Plant your hands either side of your chest, so your elbows are pointing up. Pull your elbows down and back towards your hips. And now pull chest forwards and up. Keep reaching back with elbows, with left foot. Turn your face to look to the right. And then lower down, rest. Great. Wiggle your hips a little side to side. Then plant your hands under your shoulders if they're not there already. On an inhale, push up all fours. Tuck your toes under. Exhale, send your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. With your fingertips, grip your mat. And with your arms, gently push. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, step your left foot forwards to the outside of your hands. Drop your back knee down onto the floor. Okay. Keep your right hand on the floor. Start to turn your chest to the left. So you're turning towards front leg and reach your left arm straight up. So what can tend to happen here is, because I think when we take our hand further, it makes you feel like you're twisting further. So sometimes what I feel in myself and what I observe in other people is instead of reaching straight up, we tend to take our hand like a little bit kind of down towards back foot and then take it back. If I do that facing you, you might be able to see what effect that has on my shoulder. I kind of go from, instead of being here to more being there. See how my shoulder kind of shrugs forwards and down? So instead of Swinging your top hand as far back as it can go. See if you can have it kind of just above your shoulder. And now think about leaning that top shoulder back towards the wall behind you rather than your hand. So you're actually turning from your chest. Okay. And then think about bottom shoulder. Can that shrug away from ear as well? Yeah, great. And then untangle yourself, hands down. Step back to downward facing dog or all fours if you prefer. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, step your right foot forwards, back knee down if it's not already. Turn your chest towards the right, so towards front leg, reach top arm up. Instead of swinging that hand back, arm reaches straight up to ceiling or sky. Lean your top shoulder back away from the wall or whatever it is that you're looking at. And then also bottom shoulder shrugs away from ear. Great. Now maintaining that, push with your bottom hand and reach up with your top hand. Breath in there. Breath out, hands down, downward facing dog. Take an inhale where you are. As you exhale, walk your feet to your hands, end up in a standing forward fold at the front of your mat. And then slide your fingertips up your shins till they're kind of maybe around knees. Pull your chest forwards and up. See if you can create just a little feeling of back bend in spine. So if you feel like you want to, you can keep your hands resting on your legs here. Otherwise, for today, we're going to have a different arm position for this shape, halfway lift. That's going to involve shoulder extension. Remember, that was like swinging your arms back. I don't want you to think arms way high. Chest is pulling forwards. Reach your arms back alongside your hips. Fingertips reach towards the back edge of your mat. So if you take your hands way high, it's going to make your shoulders drop forwards. Instead of doing that, shoulders shrug away from your ears. Chest pulls forwards and up. Fingertips are maybe reaching back and a tiny bit down. If this gets bothersome in your back, try drawing your belly muscles in or go back to reaching your hands on your legs. And then exhale, fold forwards. On an inhale, come all the way up to stand. Reach your arms up to ceiling, up to sky. Exhale, bring palms together and thumbs to chest. Okay, so normally when we're starting to move in time of breath, often you'll get the cue of inhale, reach your arms up to ceiling like I just gave you. For today, just to be warming up shoulders for where we're going, I'm going to be saying to you, inhale, sweep your arms back, okay? And if you are like a more, scrap that, I think for anyone, when you take your arms back, what might happen is it makes you make a back bend shape in your spine. And that's not dangerous or wrong, but I want to try and minimize that so the motion is just coming from your shoulders and not your spine. So draw your belly muscles in a little bit and feel how it feels to, with palms facing forwards, just take your arms back without letting anything change around your center. And that's the way we're going to try and do it for the rest of class. Okay? So as you inhale, arms reach back. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway, maybe just how we practice. So fingertips reaching back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand. Arms reach back behind you. Exhale, palms together. Thumbs to chest. 2 more times. Inhale, arms sweep back. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Shoulders away from ears. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up to stand, but reach your arms towards the back of your mat. Exhale, bring hands to prayer, thumbs to chest. 1 more time. Inhale, reach your arms back. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Maybe work it how we practiced. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, but sweep your arms back behind you. Exhale, hands to prayer. Great. Inhale, reach your arms back. Let's add some lunges. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back, drop that knee down to the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, hands to prayer. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower down to lie on your front. Reach both arms back alongside you. Inhale, locust pose. So lift arms, legs, and chest up. Exhale, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, step your right foot forwards, drop back knee down to floor. Inhale, come up, hands to prayer. Exhale, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms back behind you. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to chest. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step left foot back, left knee down to floor. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale, plank, arms push. Exhale, lower to floor. Reach your arms back. Locust pose, inhale, lift everything. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, step your left foot forwards, back knee down to floor. Inhale, hands to prayer, lift your chest up. Exhale, step forwards and fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, arm sweep back. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to chest. One more round. Inhale, sweep your arms back, a bit different this time. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot back lunge, right knee down to floor. Inhale, lift your chest, reach arms to ceiling. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower to floor. Keep hands on the floor. Inhale, cobra pose, elbows pull towards your hips. Exhale, downward facing dog, send hips up and back. Inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step it forwards, back knee down. Inhale, reach to ceiling. Exhale, step forwards and fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, reach arms overhead this time. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to chest. Inhale, arms sweep back, last side. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, left foot back lunge, left knee down to floor. Inhale, reach your arms, lift your chest up. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale, plank. Exhale, lower to floor. Hands stay on the floor. Inhale, cobra pose. Elbows and shoulder blades pull away from ears. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step it forwards, back knee down to floor. Inhale, reach to ceiling, lift chest up. Great. Exhale, step forwards and fold at the front of your mat. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up to ceiling this time. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to chest. Nice work. Inhale, arms sweep back. Exhale, fold forwards. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold there. Slow, steady inhale through your nose. Unhurried exhale through nose. Slow breath in, arms gently push. Slow breath out, feet push floor away. Then you might decide to just hang out in downward dog for a few breaths. You might choose to maybe bring your knees down. You could come to all fours or child's pose like this. Maybe grab a drink of water if you need. If you want to keep moving, you're welcome to do that. So other options you could pick from, you could be maybe alternating bending one knee and then the other. You could go backwards and forwards to plank a couple of times in time of your breathing. Maybe knees down, dipping and arching spine. So cat-cow, moving in time of your breath. You could also do that same sequence we've done a few times together. So plank, down, back bend, and then back to down dog, your choice. When you're ready to move on, we'll start from either all fours or downward dog, so meet me there. On an inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step it forwards, lunge. Grab your block because we're going to use it. Back knee up or down. Bring yourself up into your lunge and bring your block with you. So hold your block in front of you. I'm going to turn towards you so I can just show you how I'm holding my arms. My elbows are bent and the block's a bit away from my chest. Then all I want you to do is try and keep breathing as you squash the block with your hands. Like if it feels okay, you can squash it like as hard as you like and see what you feel switching on. Maybe around like front side of shoulders or chest, inner upper arm. Is there any sensation there? So that stuff there, we're going to need to be able to stretch for where we're going. So we're warming it up by getting it fired up right now. Take an inhale there. Exhale, put the block down, hands down, downward facing dog. Stay here if you like. Bring your knees down for a break. Keep moving if you want to. If you want to move, classic option is this. Inhale, shift forward, plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale, back bend. So I'm going to go locust pose. That would be reaching your arms back, lifting everything up. Exhale, hands under shoulders, downward facing dog. If at any point you're doing that little sequence and you're working cobra pose instead, you might begin it from your elbows like we did at the beginning. If you're going upward facing dog, think just shrug shoulders away from ears. Inhale, lift your left leg. Exhale, step it forwards, lunge, back knee up or down. Grab your block, bring it up with you, and come up when ready. Okay, so this time, I'm going to hold the block behind you, slide it down until it stops. So for me, my arms go kind of almost straight. Yours might go completely or not at all straight. That's okay. Just slide it down until it stops. Shoulders are drawing away from your ears. Try not to lose your balance like I am. Shrug your shoulders down. Arms as straight as they'll go. And then with your hands, try and squash the block. So it's not as easy to get as much push on the block as when it was in front of you. So right now your shoulders are in extension, that action we're working with, because the block is back behind you. So if this feels like a lot of effort and you can't generate much push, don't worry, that's how it feels for me too. Take one more inhale into your chest. As you exhale, ditch the block, hands down, downward facing dog. Stay there if you like. Come down, take a break if you prefer, or keep moving if you want to. If you're moving, make it nice and slow and steady. If you're holding still, maybe breath is still slow and steady. We're going to do one more set of lunges. So either from all fours or downward dog. Inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, lunge, back knee up or down. Either's going to work perfectly. Inhale, come up, reach your arms up to the ceiling. As you exhale, bend your elbows out to the side. So again, I'm going to turn towards you just so you can see what I'm doing a bit better. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, bring your palms together in front of you and aim your elbows towards each other. So for some people, their elbows easily touch in front of them. If that's you and it's easy to do, I want you to squeeze them together and then also lift them up, not by bending backwards, but by actually lifting your elbows up. If your shoulders are more like mine and just trying to bring your elbows to touch is plenty of work, I just want you to do that. Okay, so feel what's working as you're trying to press your elbows. And then just keep your elbows bent, but now take them wide, Shoulder blades squeeze towards each other. Take your elbows and your hands a little bit back. Feel how, again, this might be making you want to bend backwards. That's not wrong, but also ask your shoulders to work. So you're also asking your hands to go back. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, hands down, downward facing dog. Hold there if you like. Come down, rest if you want. Move for a couple of breaths if you prefer. And then we're going to use those same shapes on the other side, but just moving in time of breath instead. Inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, lunge, back knee up or down. Either will work. Inhale, come up, reach arms up to ceiling. Exhale, bend your elbows out to the sides. We're in like a kind of cactus position. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, bring your hands together. Squeeze your elbows, lift them up if you need to. Inhale, take elbows wide, shoulder blades squeeze. Exhale, bring arms towards each other in front of you. Again, inhale, take elbows wide. Great. Exhale, arms come in front. Different this time. Inhale, take elbows wide. Hold there, exhale. Hold, inhale, try and take your hands a bit further back. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Great. Every time we're here, you can hold still, you can take a break, or you can keep moving if you like. Those are all excellent options. And then as you're ready on an inhale, lift your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forwards, warrior two. So back leg stay straight, back toes turn out. Inhale, come up, arms reach out, shoulder height. Okay. And then in this warrior two position, let's actively shrug your shoulder blades down your back away from your ears. Take a breath in there. As you breathe out, bend your front arm, prop it on your front thigh, reach your other arm straight up to the ceiling. Okay, so right now your top palm and your chest are facing the same direction. We need to start turning your top arm so that your palm faces the back edge of your mat or your back foot, and keep turning it until your palm faces behind you. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, sweep that arm around behind your back. You might land the back of your hand kind of right side of bum, right side of lower back. You might catch hold of your waistband, or you might kind of wrap your fingers around your front thigh. So it depends how long your arm is. Shrug that shoulder down your back away from your ears. And then turn your face to look down towards your front foot and tuck your chin slightly into your chest. Okay, so you can stay like this, or we're going to balance on one leg for half bound, half moon pose. So if the way your top arm is wrapped around behind you, if after a while maybe that gets a bit much, you might just want to unwrap it and put it on its same side hip, so hand on left hip. If it feels good where you are, all good. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, shorten your stride, so step your back foot closer to your front foot. Inhale, bottom hand down to floor, or I prefer a block. I'm going to grab my block, step it forwards with your little toe. And then as you're ready, shift your weight onto your front foot, lift your back leg up. So you're turning your top toes and your chest to the left, still drawing your shoulder away from your ear. Take an inhale here. Exhale, let's come back to warrior two. So top foot down, back and mat. Inhale, arms reach out, extend through fingertips. Exhale, hands down, downward facing dog. Great. Couple of breaths to yourself to maybe recalibrate breath after standing on one leg. Grab a drink of water if you need. Rest or flow as you like. We'll do that same stuff on the other side. So inhale, lift your left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forwards. Warrior two, back toes turn out. When you're ready, come up, arms reach out. Take a breath in here. As you breathe out, shrug your shoulders down your back. Inhale. Exhale, bend front arm, prop it on your front thigh, reach other arm straight up to ceiling. Turn your top palm to face the back edge of your mat, and then keep on turning it until your palm faces behind you. Swoop that arm around behind your back. Land it somewhere by like back of pelvis, bum, maybe left hip, maybe left side lower back, maybe front leg. Draw your shoulder away from your ear, your top shoulder, and then turn your face to look down to your front foot. Tuck your chin in towards your chest. And then either keeping your arm behind you or putting your right hand on your right hip. You could stay here, or we're going to stand on one leg on the other side. So breath in. As you breathe out, shorten stride. Inhale, bottom hand down to floor or block. Exhale, shift your weight onto front foot. Lift your back leg. Turn your belly button, your collarbones, your top toes towards the right side of your room, right side of mat. Top shoulder is trying to draw away from your ear. Inhale here. Exhale, top foot down, back of mat, warrior two. Inhale, arms reach out. Exhale, downward facing dog. Hold here if you like. Flow if you prefer. I'm going to come down, take a couple of breaths in child's pose. So again, when you're ready to move on, we'll go from either all fours or downward dog. Inhale, lift your, let's go left leg up and back this time. Exhale, step your foot forwards, warrior one. So that means back toes turn out just a little bit this time. Inhale, come up. So you're looking past the front edge of your mat. Arms reach up to ceiling. Great. Take a breath in there. As you breathe out, bring your arms down by your side, interlink your fingers, and then take that fist that your hand's making over to the right. So it might land kind of right side of waist, right side of bum, right side of lower back. Shrug your shoulders, down your back away from your ears, and then point your elbows back behind you, like you're trying to squeeze your elbows towards each other. So your chest is lifting up, elbows are pulling kind of down and back. Remember that way we were coming into cobra pose where I was asking you to move from your elbows? Take an inhale up into your chest. As you exhale, untangle your arms, give shoulders a wiggle. Great. Inhale, straighten front leg, hands on hips. Exhale, fold forwards. So let's put your hands down on something. So you might slide them maybe down your leg. You might put your hands on the floor. You might prefer to maybe use a block or two. If you've got one, have it on the inside of your front foot. If you've got two, it can be either side. So remember when we were thinking about the position of your shoulder in that twist earlier on? I'm going to add a twist to this and try and use that same technique with shoulder. So keep your right hand on whatever it's on. Put your left hand on your left hip. Inhale, pull your chest forwards past the front of your mat. So spine feels like it lengthens. As you exhale, start to turn your chest to the left. So you're turning towards front leg, revolve triangle. With your bottom hand push down. Turn your collarbones. And then reach your top arm straight up. And try and take that top shoulder back towards the wall behind you. You're not taking your hand back, you're taking your shoulder back. Breath in like that. Breath out, untwist, hands down, downward facing dog. Hold there if you like. Take a break if you prefer. If you want to flow, maybe once or twice more than normal, you might swap in locust pose, swap out, maybe upward facing dog or cobra pose. Just because it involves a little more of the action in shoulders that we're working with today. As you're ready, inhale, lift your right leg. Exhale, step it forwards. Warrior one, back toes turn out a little bit. When you're ready, come up. And then if they're not already there, bring your arms down by your sides. Interlink your fingers. Take your hands over to the left. Shrug your shoulders down. And then squeeze your elbows towards each other behind your back. So you're looking for some combination of either a feeling of like stretch or opening across chest or front side shoulders, maybe effort around the back, maybe both. Take an inhale there. Exhale, untangle your arms, give them a shake if they need. Inhale, straighten front leg. Exhale, hands on your hips, fold forwards. Put your hands down on something. So leg or floor or block. I'm going to grab a block. Keep your left hand on what it's on. Put your right hand on your right hip. Inhale, pull the crown of your head. So not your face, the crown of your head towards the front of the room. As you exhale, push down into your bottom hand. Turn your chest to the right. Try and keep breathing as you reach your top arm straight up. Don't swing your hand back, take your shoulder back. Take an inhale there. Exhale, untwist. Downward facing dog. Take a breath in where you are. As you breathe out, step or jump your feet forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, refold. Inhale, come up, reach your arms all the way up. Exhale, palms together, thumbs to chest. Okay. Step your feet wide. I'm going to turn sideways on just because it makes it easier for you to see what I'm doing. If it works better for you in your space, just step wide, facing the same way as you were. That's all good. So feet like maybe not quite as wide as warrior two stance, maybe 2/3 of the way. Turn both sets of toes to point out a little bit. Bend your knees out in the direction of your toes. Prop your forearms on your thighs. So we're going to twist side to side. We'll go a little slow the first time and then move in time of breath the next couple of times. So let's take your left shoulder over towards your right knee. So you're going to bend your right elbow, turn your chest down towards right knee. With your left arm, push your leg away from you, and that left shoulder is kind of shrugging forwards and down. And then we'll come back up to center, do the same thing on the other side. So turn your chest towards your left knee, take your right shoulder forward, down and across towards left foot. Okay, inhale, come back to center. Exhale, turn chest towards right knee. Inhale, come to center. Exhale, turn chest to left knee. Inhale, come to center, pause there. Make feet kind of parallel, straighten legs. Exhale, fold forwards. So you might want your strap. If you can comfortably interlink your fingers behind your back and make your arms straight, you might find that you don't want to use your strap. I prefer to use one. It's up to you. So either interlink your fingers behind you or grab your strap or your tea towel, whatever it was you were working with. Hold it between your hands. Shrug your shoulders away from your ears. Start to straighten your arms kind of back behind you and then lift them up towards the ceiling. And just keep trying to take your arms away from your back as far as they'll go. So for some of you, you'll find your arms travel further than mine. And for some of you, they travel less far. That's okay. And then nice and slow, let's come all the way back up to stand. And we've been upside down for a while, so just give it a moment when you come back up. Okay, if you're using a strap, put it to one side. And let's step to the front of your mat. On an inhale, reach your arms overhead, lift chest up. Great. Exhale, fold down towards legs. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can hold in downward facing dog for a couple of times, or you could go plank, down, back bend, and back to down dog, your choice. And then once you're back in down dog, take a breath in. As you breathe out, step your right foot forwards, back knee down onto the floor. Prop your hands up on your front thigh. Great. So normally when we add a twist to a lunge, we end up turning towards your front leg like we did earlier. So for this time, we're just going to do it the other way around. Keep your right hand on your front leg and start to turn your chest to the left. Reach your left arm back. So you're showing your left palm to that side of the room. If your hand gets tingly, try taking it a bit more out to the side. If it feels okay, reach it towards the back of the room. So you could stay like this. You might choose to bend your back knee, catch hold of the inside of your foot. If you're doing that with your foot kick away from your bum. If you're not, I want you to just stretch through your hand. And then either way, keep everything turning that way, except just your face. Turn to look forwards again, and then down and across towards the front right-hand corner of your mat. Take a deep inhale into left-sided chest. Exhale, undo it, and just let that arm dangle. Okay, let's switch to the other side. You could go via all fours or downward dog, or you could just step your front foot back and switch. This time, left hand staying on front leg. Turn your chest to the right. Reach right arm back behind you. You could bend your back knee and catch your foot if you like. I'm not going to choose that option, but that doesn't mean you can't. Then keep your chest turning to that side. Keep your arm reaching back. But just turn your face to look forwards again. And then kind of down and across towards front left-hand corner of mat. Take an inhale into your chest. Exhale, release. Great. Let's step back to all fours and then come to sit on your bum. Sit on your bum with your legs out in front of you like this. So we're going to try, in fact, let's do two things. We're going to try upward facing tabletop first, and then an upward facing version of plank. As you lift your chest up to the ceiling, it's going to take your shoulders into extension. So sometimes you see these postures done with fingers pointing towards your bum. My wrists don't really prefer that. So if yours don't either, you could try fingers pointing out or fingers pointing back. I don't mind how you place your hands. So hands are a bit back behind you, feet on the floor in front of you. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, push down hands, push down feet, lift your bum off the floor. So you're aiming to make kind of a straight line from your chest across the fronts of your hips down towards your knees. Try and resist letting your head dangle so you're looking behind you. Instead, just look up at the ceiling. And then give just an extra push with your arms, see if you can lift chest higher. And come down. Great. If your hands or your shoulders feel like they need a wiggle, give them a wiggle. If that was quite a lot for your wrist, that's super normal, don't worry. You could be on fist this time instead of hand flat. So we could do that same version again, or just not better or worse, just a different version. We're going to try with legs straight. So plant your hands, knuckles or palms flat. Take an inhale. As you exhale, push down into hands, push down to heels, lift your bum. Think about squeezing your bum to help you lift. Now you're looking kind of diagonally forwards and up. And then give an extra push with shoulders, try and lift your chest higher. And then come down. Nice, nice work. Let's locate your strap. And then lie down on your front. So drape your strap over your bum or over your back. Reach back with both arms and grab it. First of all, we're going to do this a couple of different ways. I want you to try and grab it so that the backs of your hands are facing the floor and your palms, your fingernails are facing the ceiling. And then when you're ready, locust pose holding the strap. So lift your arms, your legs, your chest. Try and shrug your shoulders away from your ears and lift the strap slightly up away from your bum. Take a breath in, breath out, come down, rest. Just drape the strap over your bum, leave it there. Maybe rest forehead on hands, or you might turn your face to one side. Then when you're ready to, we'll do that almost that same thing again, but it's going to be slightly different for your shoulders because we're going to hold the strap differently. So reach back with your hands, grab the strap. This time have it so that your palms are facing down and the backs of your hands are facing up. And then when you're ready, lift arms, legs, chest up. 3 things I want you to do with the strap this time. First of all, try and take it away from your head. So shoulders draw away from ears. Keep doing that and then also lift it up. Keep doing both of those things. Now try and bend your elbows and rip the strap in half. Take a breath in, breath out, release. Then you can just stay resting. Or you could do either of those 2 versions again, holding the strap. Or this time, if you want to reach back and catch your feet, just another way you could work this shape. So if you're holding your feet as you're ready, start to kick your legs up and back. So in this version, your arms get pulled into extension. You could hold there for a couple of breaths. Or if you're working with the strap, then your arms have to actively take themselves into extension. And then come down. When you're ready to, let's make your way to child's pose. So that means bum back towards heels, chest down towards the floor. If this isn't mega comfy for you, that's super common, that's okay. I want you to be in all 4s instead. We're about to do a twist for your shoulders and it'll work just as well from either here, child's pose, or here, all 4s. So whichever posture you are in, spread your right arm underneath your left. So you're sliding the back of that hand along the floor, reaching towards the other side of the room. If you're in all 4s, bend your left elbow, maybe lower down towards the floor. If the floor's out of reach, you could put your head or your shoulder on your block. If you're in child's pose, again, either forehead or right side of head will be on floor or block. Then whichever version you're in, now put your left hand on top of your right, so your palms are touching, and interlink your fingers. With the back of your right hand pressed down into the floor. Then with your left hand, try and pull your right arm longer. So your left arm is pulling on right hand like it's trying to stretch your bottom arm. Take an inhale like that. Exhale, untwist. Come to all 4s or child's pose. So I demoed all 4s on that side, so I'll just demo child's pose on this side. You just keep doing the same one you were doing. Thread your left arm underneath your right. Back of your left hand on the floor. Put your right palm on top of your left, interlink your fingers. With your bottom arm pressed down, and with your top arm, push away from you. Take an inhale. As you exhale, untwist. So we're going to finish with a few minutes of stillness as per usual. You might just come to lie down on your front. I like that version, but it kind of bothers my microphone. So I'm going to lie down on my back. You could lie down with legs straight, with knees bent. If you don't prefer lying down, you might maybe sit up on your block for a couple of minutes, seated meditation. Lying down with hands on belly might feel like a nice counter pose to all that kind of sweeping arms wide and back we've been doing. You can, of course, just have arms by your side or kind of out wide, however you prefer. Take a long, slow breath in. And lengthen your breath out. And just breathe normally. Notice if you can still feel any sensation around your shoulders from what we've been doing. Are there any little adjustments to the position of head or arms that would allow your neck and shoulders to relax more? Feel where the back of your head is resting on the floor. Is there any expression on your face you could let melt away? So checking in with forehead, around your eyes, around your jaw. Observe how your entire upper body is feeling as you next breathe in. So just feel neck, shoulders, face. And then try and relax that whole area as you breathe out. If you want to stay here longer, you are, of course, welcome to. Otherwise, take a couple of deeper breaths. If you're lying on your back and you want to stretch your arms overhead before you come up, now's the time. If you've been lying on your front, you might shift to child's pose for a couple of breaths. If you're not there already, make your way up to sit. Remember, you've got your block if you want to sit on it. If your fingertips reach the floor, push down into the floor, sit tall. If they don't, just stretch them down. Keep that feeling, but just bring palms together. Take an inhale here. Exhale, drop your chin. Thank you very much.